Hello. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about a new device from Extech. It's our BR200 Borescope. And a borescope is really designed as a remote monitoring device that allows us to peer into small areas, tight areas, to get visual inspection in the form of video or still images. We've seen borescopes used in a multitude of different applications. We see it as a great crossover item for the restoration marketplace. If I need to get into the drywall or get behind the drywall, maybe look to see if there is any fungal contamination. It allows us to probe into the drywall. If I need to look into an HVAC system or just a tight spot in general, borescope is a great tool that will allow us to see what the human eye may not be able to pick up. We're going to spend a couple of minutes just talking about the device itself and the different items that come standard within the kit. First item we're going to look at is actually the base handle assembly. This is powered off of 4 AA batteries. The base of the tool, you'll see that there is a cradle that holds 4 AA batteries for the device. Basically slides in, and then the cap can go back on. Once the cap is in place, we have a power button on the tool, and we'll get to that in just one second here. We have a small orange lever, and that will basically turn the power on to the base unit itself. With the power on, you'll actually see that there's a little red light that will be illuminated. The next item that you're going to see that comes standard in your BR200 is the scope itself. This is actually a video scope. The end of this is very similar to what you'd have on a 8mm camera. The scope actually will attach right to the base tool, basically threads right into the end. This particular scope that we're looking at is roughly 3 feet in diameter. If I open it up just a little bit, you'll see that runs about 3 feet in length. Different borescope manufacturers use different size scopes. There's no right or wrong reason as to what size may work best for you. What I found with the shorter versions is it gives you a little bit more ease and flexibility to maneuver once you've gone inside of a wall cavity. If I'm dealing with something that may be 6 feet in length, it's very hard to maneuver it once I get up into that area. With, again, a little bit shorter version, if I'm going into drywall and I want to peer it down to look at the back side of the drywall, it's much easier on a shorter scope than something that may be larger. But again, there is no right or wrong. That's a personal preference. The next item that comes standard with the BR200 is going to be your video monitor. This is a 3.5-inch LCD video monitor. As I mentioned earlier, with this device, it will give you the ability of seeing video real time when the scope is connected to the tool. Another great feature about this device is the LCD monitor actually affixes right to the base tool. You'll see this little peg on it on the back of the LCD. It actually slides in place, and we'll show you that. So now I have it affixed to the tool. With the scope attached, I can actually see real time on the LCD the images at the end of the scope. Another great benefit to this particular device is it is completely wireless. So I can remove the LCD, literally be looking at the LCD while I have another worker holding the scope and maybe looking into a void or up in an HVAC system. So I love the flexibility of doing that. Next thing you're going to see that comes standard with the BR200 is the charger. Charger is basically right for the LCD display. The LCD display has the ability, as I mentioned, of actually recording video and taking still images. It has a flash card that comes standard with it. It's a 2 gig flash card, and then you have an adapter as well that can go to your computer to take the information from the monitor and do professional documentation. Working down the line, system does come standard with software, again giving you the flexibility of taking your video and or your still images and downloading it. Next item you're going to see that comes with it is a clip-on mirror. It's a tiny mirror, and it actually is in the casing. This little mirror gives me the ability of attaching to the scope, and it actually has a 45-degree lens on the mirror. So if I'm looking inside of drywall, and this is my drywall and my scope comes in and I'm pointing it down, I may want the ability of seeing what's on the back side of the drywall. By having the mirror attached, it basically reflects a 45-degree angle and now allows me to see what may be on the back side of the sheetrock. So a multitude of different things you can do with the lens option that comes standard with it as well. A USB cable Again, standard with the system, giving you that flexibility of downloading your images back to the camera itself. What we're going to do is we're going to do a brief demonstration on the camera. We're actually going to show you how it works, the images that you're going to see both in video and in still image format. So we'll be right back with you. So we're going to show you the Borescope real world at this point. We're actually going to be looking up at the Jon-Don ceiling. We have a air conditioning diffuser that we're going to send the Borescope into and just kind of give you a first-hand understanding of how this works. Again, you'll see that the diffuser is already down, just making my life a little bit easier. The Borescope, you can see that the light is actually illuminated. Again, I have a opportunity to kind of back it off depending on how much light I need. And basically I'm going to take my scope, I'm going to run it into my space. I'm going up in here. As I'm coming in here, I can actually see on the LCD screen the duct system itself. And it helps me to guide my way through the system, working up and through into the duct. And again, it's illuminated on my LCD screen. So again, I can see a tight little pocket within the duct if I'm looking for traces of smoke, microbial growth, small animal, whatever it may be that I'm looking for up in the cavity itself. So we're going to show you the wireless functionality of the LCD and the Borescope. Right now I have the scope pointing at me, and there I am, hello. And then I'm going to show you that again, you can see we are detached, and I'm actually going to start walking out into the hallway away from the LCD screen. So you'll see me on camera coming back, walking away from the LCD. Great opportunity for one person to be giving the signal of which way I should be moving with the Borescope, whether I need to go up or down while the LCD is in a separate and fixed spot. Again, for one more demonstration, we have a small hole right here in our drywall, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the scope and actually stick it in the drywall. What you saw in the previous video segment is the LCD is not attached. It's actually back on our table. So I'll stick it into the hole, kind of probe around in there, and then again we'll have a tight shot on the LCD once I'm in the cavity. So here I am in the wall cavity. I can see the back side of the drywall, the opposite side. I'm going to try to point the Borescope down towards the C channel in the wall. I'm actually moving the scope around in the cavity. Again, very non-invasive, getting into the cavity, moving the scope around. And again, I'm going to work my way out of the cavity. So again, great tool that gives me the ability to see into small, tight areas that is illuminated. With the LCD, again, I have the opportunity to shoot video, still JPEG photos. Great way for documentation, again, in small areas where you may need to be determining if you have a problem that may call for some type of remediation. This is the Extech BR200.